Okay, welcome to the Engineering Graphics Lab. What we're going to be doing today is drawing a detailed drawing of a button holder. And as you can see, there are some blank dimensions here. What you're meant to do in the lab is use a vernier caliper, round up to the nearest decimal place. In that case, we're not going to have a decimal place at all. We're just going to go with no decimal places, so we're just going to round up to the nearest whole number, and we're going to measure the lengths of the part. We're going to measure the diameters, and we're going to write down the dimensions, and we're going to use those dimensions to create our sketch. I'm going to just make an assumption here that the length is approximately 40 long and the diameter is approximately 30 in diameter. I'm going to draw a center line, and then I'm going to create a sketch of half of the part because I would like to use revolve to revolve that shape around the axis. So let's look at the drawing. We want to make sure we know the units. The units are in millimeters, and so let's get started. So File, New, I've got the templates open. I want to create a metric part. Remember, we said the length will be approximately 40 long for the part. I need to select Sketch a Line. In fact, I'm going to sketch a center line on the front plane, normal to. And I'm going to draw a line through the origin, approximately, say, 50 units long, if my part is about 40 units long. I'm going to hit Escape, that cancels the command, and I'm going to zoom in using the wheel and start drawing half of the shape. Now you may have to look at the actual shape to identify what I'm drawing here. I'm going to draw above the origin, so exactly above the origin I'm going to draw vertical line, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, a line at an angle, going down, again over, another line at an angle, and I'm going to close the sketch. The sketch needs to be closed, otherwise it will not revolve properly. Also, you have to avoid double lines. So I'm going to draw a line directly above the origin. I'm inferring above the origin here, and I'm going to draw a line and that approximate shape. So if you were looking at your drawing, you could see clearly the shape that I'm trying to repeat here. A line at an angle, a line going down, another one over, another line going down which meets this line here, and close that and then hit the green check mark. At this point I can hit Escape to cancel that command. I can go right into Features, Revolve. Because I drew a center line, SolidWorks knows I want to revolve that shape. Of course I need to edit my sketch, normal to, and I need to put my values on here. For now, I'm just going to put some dimensions in that will control the shape. I'm not going to put the values in until I've measured those values. So for now, I'm just going to accept the values given. So this diameter, pick the center line, drop that dimension below the center line, and it becomes a diameter. Looks like we're dimensioning to middle space here, outer space, but I'm not. I'm actually dimensioning to a position. Again, another diameter, edge to edge, center line to edge. Drop that down. I'm just accepting these values for now to get this drawn. Drop it down below, and then lengths. So what is the length? From here, overall length, edge to edge, drop it down, edge to edge, drop it down. And I need to make sure I'm dimensioning from the right edge. If we look at the drawing, which we will momentarily, I know that I should be dimensioning a smart dimension from this edge to edge. So make sure you're selecting the correct edges and inputting the correct diameters. I picked this edge. I'm going to pick that vertex point there and drop that down, and I'm going to accept that. Now, why is our sketch not fully defined? What is missing? Again, if we were to look at the assignment, we would see that there's an angular dimension missing. If I pick both lines and I decide where I want to put that angle, and clearly on the assignment it's down here, and finally there is another angular dimension here, and I can decide where I want to put that, and clearly it's down inside of here. And now my final question is, why is this still not fully defined? If I hit the Escape key to cancel the dimension command, the blue entities that still remain, if I drag them, I realize that when I'm dragging this, it's a depth dimension which is missing. So I need to ask for a smart dimension from edge to vertex point, and I need to make sure I put it to the right vertex points. Smart dimension edge to edge. The depth for that countersunk hole would be measured from this edge to the first vertex point, and I put that down. Now none of those values are correct. It's up to the individual student to measure the part they have, work in a team, get your values. You know, if you close the sketch, if you need to go back in, which we do, right click edit sketch, I can change my values. Once you've completed your part, so I've put the correct values in there, I can go straight into, and before I do my drawing, I want to make sure File Properties that I've edited the correct fields so all of that comes up properly. Engineering Graphics, under Project, under Description, the name of the part, or otherwise known as the title, button holder, the number. Don't edit these two here. Add your initials and the date. So once I go into File, New, Metric Drawing, because we know it's metric, I'm going to ask for a view layout, and I'm going to put in a model view. I may need to browse if my button part isn't open, so I may need to browse to find out where it is, but that is already open. When I hit the green check mark, I've dropped down some views. Now there's an extra view there which I don't need. What I need to do now is check the scale, and on the actual part itself, if I look in and zoom in on this, I can see my scale, which is right here, is 2:1. So going back into my drawing, I need to make sure the scale I select is 2:1. So if I select custom scale, SolidWorks automatically gave me a scale of 2:1, so I don't need to change that, but where I do need to change that is down in here. Scale 2:1 came in because that was the first one I picked. If it didn't and I needed to change that, we know if we right click Edit Sheet Format, I can get in here and change that just by editing the text. I'm editing the drawing now. To close that sheet editor, right click Edit Sheet, and my views come back. Now this view is meant to be a section view, which it is not a section view. So what I'm going to do is start with this view. I'm also going to add a model view, and what I want to do is, that's the name of my part, ask for a model view and drop that up there. I'm happy with that scale. It's actually smaller than the one selected initially, and that's fine. Another thing I need to do is called a section view. So right up here under View Layout, Section View. Now the trick to using section view is I need to zoom in. I'm going to wake up the geometry, and where I start, I haven't picked yet, where I start my arrow and finish my arrow, this gives me an imaginary line I'm going to pick now. That line is created and it is outside of the part. The direction the arrows are in is correct. If I wanted to flip that, I could do that. And what I'm doing is I'm dropping down a section view. At this point, what remains is for you to input the geometry. So under Annotations, I could smart dimension this part by selecting Lengths, or if you choose not to smart dimension, you could insert Model Items, Entire Model, marked for drawing, green check mark, and move those dimensions around. I'm going to undo that. I want you to measure those on your own. Then what we'll do is, once we've completed the drawing, is we will save this as a PDF. So once I've put all of my dimensions on and I've cross-checked, I'm going to say File, Save. Of course, I'll be saving that to H. Once I've saved that to H, I'm going to save it again, File. I'm going to say Save As, and I'm going to select PDF and make that a PDF file, which I will upload to the Dropbox. And there are instructions for that on the D2L site. Alright, so that's the exercise for now. Thanks for watching.